Hey everyone, wanted to give a quick update on where we sit with the Call of Duty Zombies randomized challenge kind of thing, as well as another one that I've started to create for Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, and where I'm gonna go for music. I'm just trying to figure out how to record and share this. I'm using Zoom to record my screen because I tried on Elgato. Not sure why it couldn't do that. I'm also hoping this time when I record it, it will actually show what I'm trying to show instead of me clicking share screen, entire screen, or even the RStudio one and it not working. So we'll find out if that works. Let's see. I shall try this one. We'll go with this first. Okay. So we'll start with the zombies one, and I will clear this just to kick off what it is. So the first thing I'm doing is running the name of each of the games that I do either own or can get. So that have Call of Duty Zombies. So the first one we have is World at War, Black Ops 2, and Black Ops 3. And then each game is broken down into the maps that they do have, even if it's like a different version of the one that's in another game. After that, it goes into the perks of each of the maps. So that way, like each map has their perks that they can pull. It won't pull like Nuketown Zombies won't get PhD Flopper as a full perk because it can't get that in the game. Um, so that's the perks, and then after that goes on to the weapons. So I'm running all of these real quick just get them all loaded in. I did have to go through and type in each one of these because I didn't trust web scraping to get everything or even get the correct one. So there could be some errors in here, but I definitely tried my best to not have anything happen. So this next thing that it does is it pulls a random number between one to the full length of the the character. I'm not sure what it actually might be called. Um, so it's like it'll sample whatever number. So the number it got was 10. So once I run all of these, it will show up. And then when I run the one for World at War, it will run that number 10 and pick 10 random weapons from the weapon list. So let's see what we get. Oh, that's not where I want to type over here. Not weapon list, World at War. So we get like the Panzerschreck MP40 bar Raycon M1A1 PTRS1. You get a couple of different guns. So the variability comes from the code getting ran and it picking a number simply just one time. What I also have is replace as false. So that way, once it picks one, it takes it from that list. Like it's not on the list to get picked again, kind of thing. Um, and it also does it for perks where it samples, let's say, well, I guess it might have been kind of redundant to do knocked. It could have been just use mule kick or not use mule kick kind of thing. Let's try a different one for go Ascension perks for Black Ops, and we'll run that one again. And it gives us Juggernaut, Quick Revive, Speed Cola, Double Tap, Mule Kick, PhD Flopper, Stamina Up. It could have given us all. So that's one thing it can do is physically give all of the perks possible, or it could just give one to two or zero. I need to figure out how to get zero involved in this because it could be a match where you get zero. Um, so basically what I want to also make from this point is something that runs like a application that people can use on shiny or a website link. So that way they can do this on their own accord. And down the road, if this gets big enough, people want other maps or different games, I can try to implement that too. But let's see. So the idea of first off is that recording the dry runs is just me playing it my own way. So you get like sort of an understanding of what I could possibly do on the map. And then when you run this, you compare it to be like, oh, that's an interesting way to play this map, like Mob of the Dead. If let's see, we got Mob of the Dead weapons list. I think I have to run the first one to give us a random number. It gives us 17. All right, that's not bad. But you can also do it again and let's see how bad it can get. 10, 9 for buried. So it just really makes it fun and flexible. Um, but yeah, that's basically where this all coded out, like runs up the challenge. So once I get more of the dry runs completed, then I will start working on this one. So that way, the challenge can be shown of what it's trying to do. So that goes for the zombies. The other one I want to do and talk about is Pokemon related. So my initial process for this was to take one type out of the 12 possible types, like from 6 to 12 types that you can have on your team, and it picks 6 Pokemon at random minus or so 5 minus the starter because you have to pick a starter. And I'd really just keep it simple. Um, and then you get one type or one Pokemon per type, technically. So an example is I cleared it. Let's run all these real quick. So what this does is it takes the full link here from the IGN.com, all of the possible Pokemon. It reads it, pulls the giant table that it sits on. It splits. What did this do? It had it on there as like poison and grass were combined, and the G was capitalized, so I split it to where it's 2 words, and then I created a second type column so that way you can find out if it has a second type or not. And then reordered it, set that to be the new one. So I'll run this. Okay. So what this all is just the giant list of all the possible Pokemon that come into the game after you get like the national Pokédex. But what I want are the Pokemon from the Sinnoh region. So all in here is um, the individual row number for each of the Pokemon that it corresponds to. And then it takes the correct order of the Pokédex just to, I guess, keep it kind of sorted out and fair. And then I had to fix on Pokemon Newest. If we go all the way down, Azelf is technically Pischick instead of Psychic. So I had to correct that. So that way it doesn't pull a Psychic and Azelf. Um, what I also wanted to do is try to get the starter names for all the possible um, 9 Pokemon technically, and then get their types in the final evolution because all 3 of them have 2. So worst case scenario is you get 1, but best case scenario is you get 2. Um, and then you create a valid team function, and it gives you the number of the minimum types to the maximum types. And you have to get them to be unique from each other and also equal. Uh, so like length types, if they were 9, you'd have a length of unique types, which would also be 9 instead of like having 8, and you have 2 fire types as one of the 9 or 2 of the 9 Pokemon. Um, then after that, it goes to generate the Pokemon list, which it is not actually currently working. I tried too much yesterday and I got it to where it would create errors and pop up with this quote of no valid team found. Um, I tried to get it because it would have like say Infernape pop up, but then also Piplup or Prinplup, which you really can't get without either using some cheat code or uh I don't know really how else to do it on the Switch. But I was just trying to get that figured out so I wouldn't get like an unfair team. And so this is where I ask what y'all would rather see is one type or 1 to 2 types for each Pokemon, and none of them are repeating, or we run it again and we just get 6 random Pokemon. So that way it really just comes down to like variability. Well, 5 random with one of the starters being also randomized. But that's kind of where I sit on this. The music stuff that I want to work on is also something I'm looking forward to working on soon. So that way I can get all of the 3,000-ish songs. It will give me the randomized 10 songs list for each day. And then I'll go through and review those and also pull all the data for it. And I'll also try to get code to run to go to like a website like Genius to get the lyrics for the song and figure out how I can display them while listening to the song as censored as I could be if for some songs. That's kind of where I sit on this stuff. I wasn't able to upload yesterday. A few of the videos that I did record were not watchable. They were laggy and they kept getting like stuck on certain points of the video. So I had to just scrap them. So I'm going to re-record some of those tonight. I think that kind of wraps it up for this video. Just wanted to touch base a little bit. I don't mean to use work terminology, but catch up with where this runs. I'll go ahead and try these real quick just to see. Let's see. It'll probably show up with the error message that it can't generate because I did 10,000 iterations. And as soon as like if it does a fire type and then the next one's also a fire type, it kills it and then goes to the next one. So it's probably going to be doing that. Let's find out though. It could just give us an actual variable. Oh, and another thing I wanted to mention was I can also go about this challenge in 2 different ways. I get one of the evolutions picked. So let's say I get a uh let's go with a Magikarp somehow, some way. I physically can get a Gyarados, but would it seem fair to do that, or should I give it an Everstone, try to find those, and then give it to that Pokemon? Oh, no, it did not work. But I give it Everstone so that way the Pokemon that I'm technically supposed to have gets it. And the goal is to go all the way through to the Elite Four and the champion, and God willing, win. I don't I don't know how long that would actually take to do, and that's kind of what I wanted to see because I've played on the Switch and I've already gotten the Elite Four, so I'm really not losing anything. But just wanted to share these thoughts on this, and hopefully the screen record did work because my voice is starting to go a little bit. But we'll stop this. I'll get this uploaded, and please let me know what you think. Comment, subscribe, turn notifications on for hopefully daily uploads after this point. Hope all is going well for the new year and appreciate the time and support. Thank you.